Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, an afternoon game at Apollo Project Stadium in Christchurch for round 4. The Crusaders versus the Reds. Now, normally we would get to see a game, let's say 7:05, maybe even as early as 4:35. But this round we get to have the special Sunday. So hopefully it is going to be delivering. But looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, first of all, for the Crusaders, it will be Tamaki Williams, Cody Taylor, who is back in the lineup the first time since his injury, and Fletcher Null slotting in as a number 3. Scott Barrett at 4 with Shalfoon at 5, Cullen Grace 6, Ethan Black at a number 7, and Christian Leo Willie there as the number 8. Now, for the Crusaders, they have only played two games, I should say, for the season. Then last week they had the bye, so they should be nice and fresh for this match up against the Reds. In their backline, it will be the starter, Kyle Preston. Of course, everyone will remember the impact that man had up against the Hurricanes, coming off the bench early due to the injury of Noah Hotham, then scoring himself a hat-trick in the Crusaders' victory over the Canes. Kamara will be the starting 10, with James O'Connor making his way off of the bench. David Arveli and Dallas McLeod in the midfield, so no Levi Amua in that midfield combo. Severis, Che Fiaki, and at number 15, it is Will Jordan for the Reds. In their starting lineup, Alex Hodgman, Matt Faisler, and also Delutis, Kenham, and Ryan Smith in the locking duo, with Liam Wright, Fraser McWright, and Harry Wilson. Those three men are going to be pivotal in the way that this Red side play. We've seen McWright in the way he's able to get in the breakdown, rip it away, but he also can be susceptible to giving away penalties. So if he does that in this game, they could find themselves in a bit of trouble. But if he can get it right a few times, win a couple turnovers, partner well with Harry Wilson, they could certainly have a great chance. Tate McDermott and Harry McLaughlin-Phillips starting at number 10. Pacquiao alongside Filippo Dangunu in the midfield. Then Tim Ryan, the speedster, out on the left. Lockie Anderson out on the right. And it will be Murray at number 15. In the chat, we have got Hi Hamish says, Jet Dog, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. This is the way that the table sits as an updated one up till this stage of the competition. As you can see, the Crusaders are in last, but they have played 2 less games than a lot of their opposition. The Reds, though, they've played the same amount of games. They're sitting 2 wins from 2. Beating Moana Pacifica and also the Western Force. They're on 9 points. And the Crusaders, they will be wanting to finish this round. Honestly, anything less than 7th, they'll be disappointed, because that it would, of course, mean that they have lost this contest. But just both making their way out of the tunnels now for this matchup. Talking about the return of Cody Taylor. Of course, he has been out for a little while, and he'll be rearing to go off the bench just in case. They have got Moa Nanu, George Bauer, and Sam Martinga. Then Cahill and Kello alongside Drummond. James O'Connor going to be going head-to-head up against his old side. So this will be a very interesting finish. And then also Levi Amua there as the number 23 for the Reds. They've got the impact of Tom Liner in that 22 jersey. Jeffrey Tuamanga Allen back on New Zealand shore. And Angus Blythe there at number 19 as well. But making their way onto the field, like I said, for a beautiful afternoon game in Christchurch. Next week, Chiefs versus Blues and Chiefs Manawa versus Hurricanes and Hamilton. All 4 teams have had a loss this week. Says Novmum. So yeah, they'll certainly be wanting to bounce back. And I should mention the Crusaders, at the moment, they're in a situation now. They might have to be the only New Zealand side to get a win. Whereas last year, it was normally they were the only New Zealand side to have a loss to their name. So the way that it's gone full circle, New Zealand side's really struggling this round. The Chiefs losing, the Brumbies managing to beat the Blues at Eden Park. That was a massive one. And then also the Hurricanes losing to Ardie Savia and his Moana Pacifica boys. The Reds, they are going to be wearing that white with a little bit of a red strip there. There is a Red supporter in the stands. He's got his Maroons shirt on by the looks of it, and a Chicago Bulls hat. So he's certainly mixing it up. And a wee back says naught. And speaking of back, Cody Taylor is too. First game for him. Super Rugby debut was in 2013. That was the last time that the Brumbies had beaten the Blues at Eden Park. Fun fact in terms of the years. That shows you how long ago that was. He's had 134 matches. And he's had 44 Super Rugby tries. Kia ora, Hamish just finished cooking a pork belly roast with potatoes and gravy for lunch, says Matthew. So hopefully you do end up enjoying it. Crusaders 23-14 of the Reds, says Jet Dog. So going a little bit lower scoring. I honestly, of course, you guys know how bad my predictions are. But I think we're going to have a high scoring game here. As in 25 plus points per team. Maybe even 35 for the Crusaders if they can find their rhythm early. But Ben O'Keefe, he is going to be the referee in charge of this one. Jeremy Markey and also Glenn Newman will be the TMO. And here we go. Sader says Gus and the Reds. They are going to be kicking this one off with the youngster McLaughlin Phillips. Deep breath taken by Kamara. He knows how important his role at 10 is for this Crusaders side who are looking straight into the sun. Nicely taken by Kamara. And that is a brilliant kick downfield just outside of the 22. Here comes Harry Wilson. When this man gets up steam, it's always dangerous. But Scott Barrett muscles up. Manages to make the tackle. Yeah, it's normally when Harry Wilson runs that hard, he's either going to injure himself or the opposition. And luckily in that case, I think both guys were all right. Now sniping run there from Jeremiah Murray. Reds 28 to the Crusaders 19. Sears Nort. Tackle there on Alex Hodgman. And go to a Super Rugby game and stream it on your phone. That would be illegal. So we probably can't do that. A nice driving tackle on McLaughlin Phillips. Tate McDermott going back to the left-hand side. Little pop pass up and almost manages to find his way through was Ryan Smith. Harry Wilson tackled by Tamaiti Williams. How? Well, are you talking about streaming myself or streaming the field? Because the other problem you've got is listening to the music, of course, around the ground. You might end up getting a copyright claim from one of the artists. And up the Saders and the Black Cats, the Dawn of the Dead. Saders going to smash them Reds, although normally they're relatively close. Here comes Will Jordan. Just get wrestled down. Now, back across Preston. Going to the right-hand side. The Crusaders have got decent numbers out to this wing. Big tackle on Christian Leo Willie by Tim Ryan. Hello, Hamish, my brother. Says Nasoni. Yourself says Jet Dog. But yeah, it's very hard to hear you, like, through stadium ambience, I guess you could say. That's going to be quick hands. Oh, drop by Cody Taylor. A little bit of a rare mistake from the veteran. Now, Filippo Ndungunu trying to snipe his way through. We're already 2 minutes in and we haven't had a stoppage as of yet. Will Jordan playing? Oh no. Says Nord. I mean, he's been a match winner for them. Yes, he had a bit of a rough one last week, but doesn't mean it's always going to be the case. Nice tackle made by Sever Reese on Lockie Anderson. McDermott. Cross to Hodgman. Flicks the ball in behind. Goes straight to DeLutis. McDermott. Cross to the left-hand side again. That looked close to 4 from Tate McDermott, but it gone out right for Dalgunu. McWright. Tackled about 10 metres out from the try line now. Keep a close eye on someone like a Harry Wilson here. When they get close to the try line, he knows how to score them. Joins that breakdown. McDermott goes across to Josh Canham. Now DeLutis. 10 metres out from the line here for the Reds. They're on the verge of being able to find their way through. Canham finds a great offload, which does keep the ball alive. These two sides have gone 3 minutes non-stop. But Cullen Grace gets the steal illegally. See, it's Ben O'Keefe, as there was still a player in the breakdown. So that will be the penalty early on against David Harvilli. The Highlanders career mode in Rugby 25 after the Hurricanes won. Says Jet Dog. We've got a few teams that we have been looking at as potential next ones. But now, it looks like they're kicking for the corner here. Aggressive start to the match for the Reds. For the fact that they are willing to go for 7 rather than 3. And that is something that I know it has been criticised a lot about certain teams of how often they will kick for the corner. But, you know, Super Rugby is one of those ones that it's very hard to win a game with 3s. You might win that close little battle at the end. But the Reds want to try on the board and put the Crusaders under that bit more pressure. And good to hear you all the way from Fiji. Please say hi to us from Fiji, says Nasoni. So shout out to you guys. Of course, massive win for the Fijian draw. We did cover the second half of that game up against the Chiefs. It was a fantastic performance at Churchill Park. 5 metres out from the line here for the Reds. Again, they just make 1 or 2 metres at a time. Right, Harry Wilson passes it back across. Loose ball. Not picked up well by Matty Faisler. And now way down the field, who's going to have the pace? It looks like Tim Ryan currently winning the foot race. Reese as well as Avilio trying to get back. In fact, it was Fiaki, and that's kicked into touch. That's a good bit of pressure there coming from the Crusaders. Tim Ryan, I'm going to run that one hard. 12 matches in his career, 10 tries. The man's got a great strike rate. But they did see the spot in behind, and unfortunately it was just a bit of a miscommunication from the Reds in terms of who was that next pass going to go to. Cost them about 80 metres. Now Cody Taylor. Oh, you guys said 6. You've got more than that. Well, that's normally a free kick then. But it's going to be the first throw for Cody Taylor. Goes over the top and no one claims it until Scott Barrett jumps up like he's in the AFL. Now Dallas McLeod, tackled by Wilson. Middle of the field. Preston going back across to Shea Fiaki. Well, Jordan having to join that breakdown to try and get rid of Filippo Nangunu. Ethan Blackadder. Crusaders, they'll just want to hang on to this ball for a bit of time here and eventually find that gap. David Havili. He's actually had a pretty good start to his Super Rugby Pacific season. I know that he was a player, definitely after last year, that people weren't sure how he was going to end up going. Now Cody Taylor runs it straight at Tate McDermott. Very good tactic for your first run back. Find the smallest guy on the other team and just run it hard at him. Preston goes across to Christian Leo Worley. Now moves to about 12 metres from the line here for the Crusaders. The crowd's starting to get a little bit louder. Alex Hodgman thought about the turnover, but I assume that would have been the same scenario as last penalty that we saw, which would have been player not rolling away. Preston goes off to Barrett. That was almost a steal for the Reds. To Mike T. Williams, the Man Mountain. And there's going to be a penalty advantage in favour of the Crusaders. Now Shea Fiaki moves to 5 metres out. Who's it going to be? Blackadder tackled again short, and great power shown by McLaughlin Phillips. Going short side off to Shelfoon. Has Reese, who gets the offload, but he has a bit more work to do as it wasn't the smoothest thing Crusaders will do today. Preston, pick and go from Cullen Grace round the side. Beautifully done from the number 6, and that is the first try of the contest for the Crusaders. The Reds caught off guard. They thought they were shifting it wide, and he pretty much just ran it straight is the best way of describing that one. But saw the gap. Shelfoon looked for the original offload to Sever Reese, who did instead have to do a bit of a loop and then take the contact. And then, no one for the Reds paying attention to that run with the pick and go. And just no one even touched him. Havili needs a big game if he wants to be, or he wants that AB spot. Razor's watching. But does he? Because, last year he had one of his worst seasons and he still made the All Blacks. So maybe he just needs to be there at the end of the season and he'll get selected. Early days says naught. Now, Taha Kamara, I should say, this is going to be a fast-flowing game with a high score from both sides. And it is a great kick, making the score now 7-0 in favour of the home team. That is exactly what they would have been after. Just great finish from Cullen Grace. He has scored, I believe that's about his 3rd of the season, or maybe 2nd already. Maybe one to keep an eye out for. He will be another guy who is looking to get back into that AB setup. He did have the chance in about 2021, I think it was. Been a little while since then. And go the Sages mean try, says Matthew. Okay. Matt Faisler, he's disappointed because he's got his eyebrows split open. Referee says, I'd rather you go off and sort it properly so you can come back on rather than splitting it fully in half and then not being able to. So, Josh Nasser, he will make his way on. While Matt Faisler goes off. It's kicked off now by McLaughlin Phillips. Close to the sideline, but Sever Reese takes it well. Looking straight into the sun. Leo Willie. Tackled inside of the 22 here for the Crusaders. This almost looks like they want to go for a counter-attack from inside of their own. David Arvilli tries to kick. It's charged down, but risky from the inside centre. I don't think he'll be doing that again, or at least I'd like to think he wouldn't. Cody Taylor hits it up again. And now it looks like the Crusaders getting ready to set it and go for the kick. Already 9 minutes through this contest. It has been on very quickly. And Kyle Preston does get that one into touch. It'll be about 42 metres out here for the Reds line out. Yeah, he's had quite the season so far too. 4 tries from 2 games. Right, they've got the heavy strapping around the forehead of Matt Fesler. If this was the old school days, the first thing that the opposition would target is trying to take that straight off. McDermott onto the right-hand side to Harry Wilson. He's had a fumble, but it's gone backward. No, the ref says, I decide it goes forward. Harry Wilson looking a little bit surprised, but at the end of the day does not want to drop the ball too often in this contest. It just pops out. He's disappointed about it too. He is such a dangerous try-scoring threat for the Reds. Right, that was a very short appearance for Josh Nasser. Came on. Don't think he touched the ball. Didn't make a tackle or anything. Ben O'Keefe got the big smile. Looking at Fesler saying, yep, you're good now. 10 minutes in. Oh no, now he's got a shoelace to tie up. He was that quick to try and get back on the field. Didn't even worry about the boots. 23-14 full time. Be 10-14 at halftime in my opinion. Says Jet Dog. So you're saying the Reds will be leading at halftime and then the Crusaders are going to come back, if I read that correctly? Like heavy pack weights. Definitely for the Crusaders. Now about 40 metres out from their own line. It will be the Crusaders scrum. Feed my heart wants the Reds to win. My bank account wants Crusaders to win. Says Will. So you are caught in a tricky scenario. Either way, you should be slightly happy, I guess. But probably one more than the other. Penalty advantage now for the Crusaders. Kyle Preston looking for the 50-22. Or, tell you what, they should probably play on here. He got the 50-22. Oh, okay, Ben O'Keefe has said, okay, you can go with the 50-22, which is interesting because it actually went out after he blew his whistle. So normally, you know, if you score a try after the ref's whistle, it's not allowed. But, like they've said, Preston seeing that scenario and just a very good kick in behind from a young guy that played like an experienced halfback there. Nicely claimed by Cullen Grace. Oh, he was hit too early. So there's going to be the advantage. Here comes David Arvili. Runs it straight at Tim Ryan. Jay Fiaki now with a pick and go around the side of the breakdown. We've only seen Cody Taylor touch the ball once at this point of the contest. Where is he now? Oh, was that him? No, it wasn't. There he is now. Cody Taylor around the side, just short of the try line. Cullen Grace, he's going to have another go. Try and end up with the double. Oh, it's going to be held up. And we'll go back for the penalty advantage in favour of the Crusaders. It's 2 in a row now. Up against the Reds. Just out from their goal line. 50-22 says Gus, and so does mate. Says Gus there too. Right, I think they'll go with... Sounds like they're going to go with the one in front of the post. And this kind of looks like they're set it up for a quick tap and go. More than likely with Tamaiti Williams. Oh, no, scrum is the call. That is a big one. But they did get the advantage at the last scrum. So they'll be looking for a little bit of dominance here. And then Christian Leo Willie. A great option to have off the back. A moment, I am about to sneeze, so I will quickly mute. We are good. But now this is a very good position on the field for the Crusaders. And more than likely, this should turn into points in one form or another. Or it could actually turn into a yellow card for the Reds if they aren't careful. Right, Ben O'Keefe's not happy with the way that one's moving around all over the place. Going to have another reset. Right, Will Jordan's actually in there talking to Kyle Preston and Kamara. So I would say he's going to be probably situated directly behind that scrum, and he can either go left or right, depending on what they decide. Try to wake up on time here, tried to wake up here on time here in South Africa, says, but can you? 4:50 a.m. for yourself, so it was great to see you. At 4:50 a.m. tonight, we will be doing the England versus Italy game. And of course, that one will be at a nice time for you guys in South Africa. Massive scrum from the Crusaders. Christian Leo Willie tries to kick it forward. Was that an advantage in the end? I don't think Ben O'Keefe actually extended his arm in the end. Now Shelfoon, he's pretty much shut down instantly, and McWright onto the ball and gets the turnover for the Reds. Taylor's not happy, Null's not happy, Tamaiti Williams is not happy, but someone who is Fraser McWright, who's managed to get the turnover for the Reds. I mentioned about it before the game. He can either get the turnover or he gives away the penalty. Those are pretty much his two scenarios, but it's not very often he gets cleaned off the ball without having some sort of penalty either for or against. He's very good at getting that body position right and just locking himself in, not allowing anyone to get rid of him. Yeah, Christian Leo Willie, he wanted to keep on moving that one just a little bit closer to the try line, but it did slightly skew with. Yeah, nice work from McWright, just straight onto it. I think two men both came in, Blackadder and Shelfoon tried to get rid of him, and he said, no, I'm just here, I've got the ball. It's going to be overthrown now. Cody Taylor takes it well. Tackled by Harry Wilson. Kyle Preston, back across to the left-hand side, Shelfoon. Canham thought about the steal. Nice skip pass there, in behind, passes out to Will Jordan. Oh, tried to go for the offload, but Dallas McLeod was not expecting it. I believe it's a double knock on, so instead, I think they're just saying play on. They're saying it's hit no one's hand, so Dungunu now passes off to McWright. That ball's been now dropped again. Right, scrum for the Reds here. So there was the first initial one where Will Jordan tried to offload to Dallas McLeod, who was joining the breakdown. Then Severis, actually, that for me is almost, it's the equivalent of a deliberate knockdown, but he's done it while lying down on the ground. So it's an interesting play from Sevu, almost cynical in some regards. But Reds, it will be about 25 metres out from their line. Just showing all of the results in this round. The Fijian draw managing to beat the Chiefs, 28 points to 24. The Hurricanes defeated by Moana Pacifica by the 9 points, 40 points to 31. And then also, we did get to see on Friday night the win for the Brumbies over the Blues. Oh, that's going to be another penalty. Okay, O'Keefe's pretty much said, no one's winning the pushing battle, so I can't really give penalties to either side because it's just wheeling. The live table, the way that it sits, we might as well show it as well, seeing as they are. One moment, we'll go like that. There we go. That is the way that the table is currently. The Reds are sitting in third place, but a win here would push them up more than likely into second as long as they were able to win by 7 or more points. And then if they were able to get the bonus point for 3 or more than their opposition in terms of tries, that would get them that extra point too. But that would be very tough to do. Definitely because the Crusaders have got the first try on the board. Solid scrum from both sides again. McDermott goes back across to the left-hand side. Come on the Reds. Sears, Stewart and France, great team. Got the casual praise. Sears, Bavani. Yeah, they had absolutely a brilliant game. But now getting close to the sideline, and that's going to be now going into touch. It looks like the Crusaders are going to be taking this one quickly. Come on, the Reds. Here's Stewart Moore. That's going to be knocked on now by the Crusaders, then knocked on by the Reds. No, in fact, I've said the Crusaders did not touch it with their hands. Not sure what else they touched it with. And go the Crusaders, says Rakula. Now Preston, 30 metres out from the line here. The Crusaders, they will look to the short side. Attack and run from Christian Leo Willie. And O'Connor inside knowledge of the Reds calls. Says Gus, another knock on. And that's going to now be in favour of the Reds. A lot of drop balls for a dry afternoon in Christchurch. What are the forward pack weights, bro? So the Crusaders, I believe, at about a 30 kg advantage, and that's mainly just to Mighty Williams. But all that's going to be forward. Now that's going to be knocked on by Christian Leo Willie. Double knock on, in fact, by both sides. So we're going back for another scrum. So it used to be once one side drops that the other team go, oh, well, we might as well slap it forward too and get down with the packs. Already 18 minutes into this contest. Still the lead at the moment for the Crusaders, but still a bit more work to do. Heavy, says Gus. Yeah, Leo Willie, I think, almost forgot what way he was going there. He tried to slap it back onto the side of the Reds. In fact, no, I think he was trying to flick it with one hand into the other hand. I don't know whether or not he overestimated his reflexes, but would have been quite tricky to do. Possession at the moment, 60% for the possession in favour of the Crusaders, 53% for the Reds and their territory. Now Kyle Preston going back to the short side again. Here he has got Will Jordan with him. He goes straight through Billy on the outside. One more to Sever Reese, and he will score the try. Slams the ground hard in the process, but Reese does run it in, and that'll be his first try of the contest. But that is how dangerous the Crusaders can be. One phase, and they just pretty much change it completely. The scrum, then going off to the left. It was poor defence on Will Jordan. Popped it up, and then missed tackle from Dungunu and McDermott, which just left a massive gap. And then Havili knew that he wasn't quite going to be as quick as Reese, so fires it out. Honestly, Will Jordan, with the exception of how quick he was, he did hardly anything there to break through that tackle. McDermott and Dungunu tackled each other. They both slammed round, and I think they hardly even touched Will Jordan's leg. That is the acceleration danger of Jordan. Let's go. Sada says Matthew try time, and Will Jordan very good. Says Bhavani. Now, Taha Kamara. We're lining up this kick here now. And it's just going to hit the post and come back out. It's going to make the score as we currently sit 12 points to 0 in favour of the Crusaders. How's Reese with the put down? Very strong. They're just showing here the gap that Dungunu has to try and cover was a pretty big one. So that's why he came flying across so quickly. But McDermott got that first initial touch, which then swung his body around. McDermott wasn't able to hurdle him. But now, kicked off by the Reds. Nicely taken. No, never mind. Scott Barrett's just fumbled it. Gone straight through him. Now, chance here for the Reds again. McDermott. Left-hand side here. This is a great attacking opportunity for the Reds to be able to fire straight back. Now, McDermott goes off to DeLutis. 10 metres out from the line now. Passing it way out wide for Filippo Dungunu. Reese trying to wrestle him towards the touchline. Also trying to get that strip. Now across. Alex Hodgman. Bit of an ugly breakdown, but it is still on the side of the Reds. Rush defence from Blackadder. Brilliant work from the Crusaders 7. And now there is the turnover. Fiaki kicks it down the middle of the field. And the Reds have to retreat back to their own 22. He's got 3 men in front of him. Good tackle made by Fiaki. Gives it off to Dungunu. Counter ruck from the Crusaders. Not quite working. Now McDermott goes across to Canham. Reese loses his footing. And nice from Taylor, says Gus. Big shot from Blackadder too. Like, in terms of how quickly Blackadder was able to get up, it was pretty much timed perfectly. That's going to be... Is that kicked out on the full? No, they're going to say it was... Oh, no, they have said it was taken back. Yeah, so it is going to be a Crusaders line out now. 20 metres out from the try line. Just talking about Blackadder. Just on the goal line. Rushes up. Makes the tackle. That's one of those ones that as long as it goes to the guy that you're rushing up at, you're fine. If you get it wrong, you're in a situation of maybe getting carded. But perfect decision-making from Blackadder there. Nicely thrown in. Christian Leo Willie. Conceded 2 at the moment for the Reds, but they have had some decent moments when it comes to their defence. That ball's popped out the side. And it's back for the Reds now. DeLutis hangs on to it. Now passed off short to McWright. Gets the offload to Josh Canham. This man has pace when he gets moving. And he bumps off Kamara, who was at the back. Sever Reese. Now McDermott goes off one more. Ryan Smith passes to Harry Wilson, who will go himself 10 metres from the line. Fires it out wide. What a pass. That is to Dungunu, who finishes it for the Reds. Kept his head down. Yeah, I don't know if he meant to do that, Harry Wilson, in the way that he did. But it's pretty much, he slapped into the ground and just flicked with his hand, and it has gone perfectly to Dungunu. He can pick it up and just run it in. A great run, I should say, from Josh Canham. Just sits down Kamara, who got his head on the wrong side. Probably lucky he didn't get knocked out there. And then Harry Wilson almost went through, and then, just flicks it out as he's going down, out to Dungunu. And then from there, Kamara and Preston. Going to be too much work for them to be able to stop. In fact, it was Jordan and Kamara. Well done, the Red says he says too. Get another try, Crusaders says Matthew. Now Harry McLaughlin-Phillips lining up this kick, and it has come round. Very nice kick, making the score now 12 points to 7. Still in favour of the Crusaders, but the Reds are back in it. Alex Pereira, get it, mate, says Bhavani. Now going off to the right-hand side. Yeah, that's a great pass from Harry Wilson. Not only to miss his own teammates and all the Crusaders' legs, he was only shooting through at knee height, but then pick up from Dungunu was class as well. Now kicked off by the Crusaders. Josh Canham really swings him around. Across to the left-hand side. Hodgman goes in behind. Big rush defence from Blackadder again. And he's helped the Crusaders get the turnover. He has had a blinder of a start to this contest. Now running forward. Sever Reese goes himself and will score the try straight back. That's the last thing that the Reds wanted. They just did the hard work, busted through, scored their first try. Just have the Crusaders go, okay, it's our turn. And Reese gets his second. And go the Reds says Stewart. And Reese says Gus. Hodgman goes back, and then just a big shot coming in. Pakeho by Blackadder. Got the turnover. And then Havili once again with another try assist. Will Jordan was lurking. He wanted that inside ball. Reese didn't need him. And does it himself. Oh. Third highest try scorer in Super Rugby history. Going ahead of Israel Folau. And now Julian Savia, here's ahead of him on 62. TJ Perenata on 65. Tell you what, he's got a really good shot of going to number 1 by the end of the season because Savia's out injured and TJ's in a different country. So that bodes well for his record. And then try boys in another great play from Blackadder. Says Matthew, yeah, he's having a great day at the start. Anyone else got Reese in their fantasy team? Said Nov Mum. Now Kamara, he's currently sitting 1 from 2. A lot of yelling going on from a kid in the crowd by the sounds of it. I don't know whether he's trying to help Kamara or trying to put him off. We're about to find out. Oh, that's gone very high and he's missed. So maybe if he was trying to put him off, it's worked. Hamish, will you be watching the Six Nations game today? We certainly will be. I will be also doing the commentary for that match. A nice pass from Harville, says Gus. Yeah, massive shot from Blackadder. And then finishes the job for Reese. Of course, during that game as well, it's in 12 hours' time, we will also see the New Zealand versus India match of the Champions Trophy. Now Scott Barrett tackled well by Lockie Anderson. Across to the right-hand side, Cullen Grace just stands there, takes contact. Decided it was the easiest option, and also it sets up the chance of a kick. It's the type of thing I do on Rugby 25. Just try and hang deep, and that is a great kick from Kyle Preston, so it was the right decision. Blackadder with a decent shot, says Gus. Preston, he's had 3 matches in his Crusaders career, and he's had 4 tries already, 3 of which were on debut up against the Hurricanes. Now, Matty Fiesler throws it in, and nicely claimed by the Reds with Ryan Smith. Oh, that looked high from Cullen Grace. Hit him right on the chest, if not that little bit higher. Now Dungunu. Sitting about 10 metres inside of their own half, I should say. Here comes a big 2-man run from Harry Wilson. Dermott. Across to McLaughlin. Phillips almost through again for Canham. Gets it on the outside to Lockie Anderson. He slips into the challenge of Preston. A little bit of a counter ruck coming from Cody Taylor. It's rid of Tim Ryan. Now left again. McLaughlin Phillips pops it in behind and Dungunu, and again The Crusaders are able to rush up and force the error from the Reds backline. Little chip of mine from David Arvelli looking for a 50-22. And if it went out, it actually would have been, even though it only looked like a light kick. Jeremiah Murray under pressure at the back. Still. Oh, okay. Barrett's been penalised there. No clear release from Will Jordan. Barrett just points to the breakdown and says, but, you know, he's going to have another. Or, in fact, no, sorry, that one would be against Will Jordan for tackler not releasing. So that doesn't go against Barrett's record, which is good news for Barrett. And Crusaders are going to run amok. Says Matthew, although this red side, don't get me wrong, they are under pressure at the moment. But if they can hang in this and, you know, only be down by, let's say, they score another try before half-time, they're right in it. I think that was Murray with a massive face of him in the stands. Man is only young in his Super Rugby career, but already might be quite popular. How do you get that on a plane, I wonder? Probably quite a hard one to ship over. Now Harry Wilson, another good tackle made on him. Back into the pocket for McLaughlin Phillips. Taken by Will Jordan at the back, who will go for a kick of his own, looking for the 50-22. And it just curls outside of it. Okay, I don't think he could see it too well from that angle, Will Jordan, but he thought it was the 50-22. It is a great kick. Just ended up curling a tad early. He wasn't happy with the bounce of the ball. Now line out here for the Reds, about 25 metres out from their own try line. Somewhere that they've been situated quite a bit throughout this first half. Thrown in and stolen by the Crusaders again. Cody Taylor with the step. Going off to the right-hand side. Some quick stepping from Christian Leo Willie. Oh, trying to get in that breakdown was Lachlan Phillips. Can't quite get the turnover. Cullen Gray showing some acceleration. Now Preston looking both ways. Goes off to Ethan Blackadder. Crusaders suck, says Kiwi Rob. They're currently winning by 10. Now it's going to be Fletcher Null. Moving only a few metres out. This is another great opportunity. Pick and go. On the side of the breakdown, who is going to be the forward that wants it? Ethan Blackadder puts his hand up. Gets driven backwards. Now off to the left-hand side, Christian Leo Willie. And they got it away. Or they got it anyway. Says SS. To Mike D. Williams. Does he want it? He's going to have a crack at the line just short. There we go. Pick and go. Who was that? Was that Will Jordan? No, he's held up, whoever it was. He won't be too keen to put his head up quickly. It was Will Jordan who decided he wanted to be the big forward, and they pretty much just held him up and said, no, Will, not today. Yeah, it was always going to be tough for him to be able to get that ball down. He put it down on someone's leg. Is there any other rugby games? There is going to be another match taking place later on tonight, not for Super Rugby, but for the Six Nations. And that one is between England and Italy. And it's taking place in around 12 hours' time, but I am going to be covering it on the channel as well. Saders will be happy. Being in front, not sad. Says Bob. Yeah, I think they'll be very happy with the lead that they've got at the moment, but they wouldn't mind one more try before the halftime break. They've still got 8 minutes, and they've had a lot of meters made throughout this first 40. Jordan getting in there. Says Gus. Now going back across to the left-hand side to Tamaiti Williams. Managed to keep him quiet throughout this first half. A little bit of a counter-ruck from Canham. Making it hard work for Black and a beautiful inside ball. Goes to Dallas McLeod. By the way, what time will that be in South Africa? That will be a 5 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa. And hopefully O'Connor gets some game time against this old team. Certainly he'll be pumped, says Tanai. I mean, we saw how Savia went up against his old team, Moana Pacifica versus the Hurricanes. He had a good start to the game up until his injury. Oh, Will Jordan goes straight through. Who's he going to need? No one at all. Jordan finishes it himself. Yes, he does. Gets the grounding. Made sure it was down that time. And that's already now sitting in a situation where the Crusaders would have a bonus point. And Jordan, too good, says Gus. A brilliant run from him. 39 tries now in his career. First of the season. And I would say from the runs that we've seen here, probably not the last. Once again, two Reds players tackling each other from trying to tie up the legs of Jordan. Just goes straight through the gap. It was a good effort in the end by McLaughlin Phillips to try and hold him up. And Will Jordan not held up that time, says Matthew. Tell you what, he would have been a little bit nervous when he had one man on either shoulder, but still managed to get that ball down. Now Kamara, another chance here. Sitting currently 5 from 7 today. One of which that he did miss, hit the post. And that one's missed away to the side. He does the hands on hips, not happy about it, but the score will remain at 22 points to 7. They must have 16 players on the field, says Stuart Moore. I think Will Jordan normally makes up for at least 2 guys. But he's 39 tries on the board. This looks like an injury here for Delutus, which brings on Jeffrey Tuamunga-Allen, who's playing in the Six Nations next week, says Mohadeen. I still got that picture. Okay, I got rid of it. So pretty much it is Ireland versus Italy in the first game. Then it will be England versus Wales, and then France versus Scotland. If France get any sort of win over the Scottish, they win the Six Nations. The same as you have a sleep, Kiwis. Says Justin, I managed to squeeze like maybe 4 hours in. Yeah, maybe 4 hours or so before this stream. So that was a decent effort for myself. That's going to be knocked on by Murray, and an accidental offside for Jeffrey Tuamunga-Allen, although he didn't play at the ball. I believe it's going to be play on. Jay Fiaki out wide all, runs straight into Dallas McLeod. It was a impressive bump off. And only Saders only going well because they have an Aussie playing for them, says Bob Log. Which Aussie are we talking? I assume you're saying James O'Connor, but he hasn't actually made his way onto the field as of yet. He is still on the bench. Now Cody Taylor. Another piercing run, 30 metres out from the line to Mighty Williams, goes to Kamara. And Saders smashing them. Hello, how much? Good to see you, mate. I'm glad one of our New Zealand teams won this weekend, says Justin. I mean, we're not a mile away. We have how did Severu get away with deliberately knocking out the ball from that Reds ball before, says Spunk. Is that the early one when he was lying down, or a different one? Oh, another grubber in behind. Will Jordan chases it. Second try of the match for him. And now the Crusaders, they are just starting to absolutely run away with this contest. It's been a reality check for the Reds heading to New Zealand. They have played Moana Pacifica and the Western Force, and they came into this game with quite a bit of confidence. The Crusaders currently just running them off their feet. It's to Mighty Williams from Perth, not that I know of. Which one of the props was born in Australia? Is that Ethan de Groot was born in Australia? Or am I thinking of a different one of the props? But yeah, nicely put down by Will Jordan playing an Aussie club. It's good medicine to get a win, says Justin. Although I asked the other New Zealand sides how that went this weekend. In particular, of course, the Blues, the only one who did face the Aussies. But this will be the first win for a New Zealand side of the weekend if the Crusaders can keep doing what they're doing. The crowd are absolutely loving it. Yeah, Ethan de Groot, I think, born in Oz, says Annoy. And how's that injury with Dupont? The French are fuming. I haven't seen any update on it, but yeah, they are not happy about the fact that it was done in a breakdown, and they feel like maybe there was a little bit of dirty tactics there. I told you the Crusaders are going to run amok, says Matthew. And Irish folks a few weeks ago were going on about how certain they were to get this 3 nations. Or get 3 Six Nations. Yeah, it's just the brutalness of a short competition. Can Italy get over 15 points today? Says Bokang. It's a great question. It depends, doesn't it? Because they got over 15 up against the French, but they conceded 70 or so in the process. Ethan South African. Fletcher Null born in Oz, says Gus. Is Ethan de Groot South African? I thought he was actually Dutch. Or I might be thinking of someone else. I'll have a quick look and see if he's got any sort of... no, Ethan de Groot is not South African. He is a New Zealand Rugby Union player. He was born in Australia in July. There we go. That's the info that we needed. Now, big attack and run from Alex Hodgman. Now, short ball from Anderson. ACL Dupont, 8 months out, they said online. Oh, is it? Geez, that's a big injury that if he is out for the next 8 months, all big contact coming in. Gus Fletcher is Kiwi. Is Pollard playing this year? He is. I think he's still playing overseas, but he's going to be coming back to the Bulls. Harry Wilson through. Was it forward? I don't think so. So Wilson will get the try. And they will be more than happy with that. They're the Reds to come back into it. De Groot is a Dutch name, however. Says Justin, poor Wales lost. And we have got there, he was born in Queensland. De Groot says annoying. Aussie team's much better with only 4 teams. Should go back to 3 teams. Says Bob Log, and the Reds in says SS2. But yeah, nice pop pass up from Liam Wright to get it away to Wilson. And they will just keep on going. Hodgman doing well. Says Annoy. With this type of lead, question for the second half, do you think they'll leave Cody Taylor out there? Or will they go with Moananu early? Do they ease Taylor back in, or do they try and test his gas tank in this type of contest? I feel like you leave him out for a bit longer. Name like De Groot. Of course, Aussie. Says Gus there. And we have got their best try all season. Go the Reds. Says Stewart. That is now going to make the score 29 points to 14. Honestly, like, they're still, like, as many tries as we've seen from the Crusaders, the Reds are still slightly hanging in here. Now, if they score early in the second half, they're within 2 converted tries. And, I mean, we saw games last night where it just kept on going. Where's this dude getting his info from? Noel was born in Rangiora. Says Dawn of the Dead. Now, it's going to be kicked off. Nicely taken by Josh Canham. Only 8 seconds remaining in the first half. And a break and run from Matty Fessler. Got the pass on the inside to Lockie Anderson. It looks like they are going to have the last attacking chance of this half. Filippo Dongunu in the middle of the park. Breaks through the tackle attempt. Oh, awkward one. The tackle made by Super Rugby. Little grubber. That was a bit of a poor one. The group, well, in fact, sorry, Blackadder, different Ethan, is going to kick it into half time, and 29 points to 14 now. And Dongunu has stayed down. I think his knee got bent badly the wrong way. Queensland is part of New Zealand now anyway, says Bob Locke, and blinding first half. Says Bill, leave Taylor on until 60th minute. Yeah, I think he wants a little bit more time under the belt, just to give him that bit of a chance. Yeah, very fast-paced first half. Both of these sides, I'm sure, will be extremely fatigued. It actually only took 43 minutes to play 40 minutes of rugby. That is very nice. Who's the reserve hooker? It is Moananu. So a guy with not a huge amount of experience, and perhaps won't get a huge amount of game time now that Cody Taylor is back, but you probably still want some sort of minutes for him. Rangiora close to Oz, isn't it? Says Gus, and oh wow, Hurricanes and Chiefs lost. Shocking. And the Blues. At the moment, the Crusaders, if they win this game, would be the only New Zealand side to win this weekend, which is a pretty substantial one. In terms of the odds at the moment, I would assume that the Reds are big underdogs just as we currently sit. Heading into the game, they were $4.20 underdogs. Now they are sitting at $13 underdogs for this match. It's going to be a tough one for the second half. We'll go like that and like that as well. Blues gone for the season, says Stuart Moore. Not necessarily. They're still sitting in 9th at the moment. And the thing with the Blues is once they sort out their handling and that penalty count, they're going to be a hard side to beat. But the problem has always been that discipline, and also lately it's just been how often they hang on to the ball and how often they drop it. So yeah, I do think that they will definitely be a top contender, but it's just going to take a bit of time. A few more games. Next week, they've got a tough one up against the Chiefs, but if they can win that, then they push themselves into that top 8, or at least they might be for a bit of time. Yeah, some big games taking place next week. Yeah, how good is Super Rugby this year? It's very awesome. It's been unpredictable. This round is the perfect example of that. It's been high scoring, fast-paced, and yeah, it's just been one of the best starts to a Super Rugby season I believe we've had in a very long time. So, happy days. Hopefully it continues, and hopefully we don't have too many more injuries that start to creep up. Crusaders versus Chiefs final. And awesome fast-flowing game for the first half, says Matthew. And yeah, like I said, it only took 43 minutes to get through 40 minutes of rugby. That is about as smooth as we have seen. TMO was hardly involved. And just means that this game's going to be finished, I would say, well ahead of schedule. There's a lot of the games this weekend we have seen take 2 hours or so. But this one I'd say is going to be down in about an hour 40, somewhere around there. But in terms of the benches for these two sides, we've already mentioned about the replacement for Cody Taylor. It's going to be Moa Nanu. He's there in the number 16 jersey. George Bauer and Martinga as the 18. Cahill alongside Kello for the other forward replacements. Then Mitch Drummond, James O'Connor and Levi Moore there as the number 23 for the Reds. Josh Nassar, Blake and Tuamanga Allen, Blythe and Bryle, and Kalani Thomas, Tom Liner and Goldsborough as the last man off the bench for the Reds. But it's been a high-scoring first half, as we've seen. 29 points to 14, 43 points in total. I think we're far from the end of the game. I did say at the very start I felt like it would be high scoring, and I did say that both sides would get over 25 points, with the Crusaders getting more than 35. So I'm still pretty happy with that, although I feel like I should have said 35 and 45 maybe, with the way that it is going at the moment. But yeah, still plenty more action to take place. Like I said, we have also got the Six Nations taking place in around 12 hours' time. That one is going to be a contest between England and Italy. For England to have any chance of winning the Six Nations, they do need to get the big win over the Italians. And then alongside that, we're also going to be keeping a close eye on the ICC Champions Trophy final between New Zealand and India, which will be running right through till about probably about 6:30 a.m., somewhere around there for that matchup. And dry pitch, says Bob Log. It's looking, wait, are we talking for the cricket or are we talking for this one? Because at the moment it is dry underfoot, a nice afternoon in Christchurch. We're just going to take a look here. Okay, typical breakdown of time in an ODI is 3 hours, 20 minutes for the first innings. So it takes about 8 hours. So if it's starting at 10, it will be finished at around 6 or so, more likely. So we will probably be live for the other match. Do you know much about the MLR? Hardly anything, to be honest. Like every time I try and start watching it, like I just don't have enough time to watch all of the games, just because I want to get a fair indication. I know that they've changed a couple of the rules by the sounds of it, in terms of trying to limit the amount of scrums that are taking place. They also kind of have a little bit of a draft system, which is quite cool compared to what we see over here, kind of, I guess, Americanizing the game a bit. But if that's what they need to do to attract an audience over there, then hopefully it does work. 50-22 looking good, says Gus. Very much so, yeah. It's just dry. And the ball is definitely pumped up enough to keep on rolling. Kyle Preston doing great with his 50-22 in the first half. Will you be doing Black Caps India? I won't be doing it per se. I will be watching it, and then also during the last 2 hours of that match, I'll have the screen open watching it while doing the Six Nations game between England and Italy. Just talked about the hot conditions in Christchurch. I almost forgot that this was happening a few hours up the road, because where I am, it is overcast and looks like it's going to rain. Whereas in Christchurch, it's blue sky, hardly clouds around. Will Jordan getting the double in that first half. Same with Sever Reese, those two men doing extremely well for their Crusaders team. And already Jordan has made 92 metres. A great start for him. In terms of the Reds, we've seen a little bit of Fraser McRae, but someone else with the headgear on that has started this match well was Josh Canham, although the lineouts have been a little bit scrappy for the Reds just at that point. And that is down to the pressure of Barrett and Shalthoon. Dalgunu, not sure what the situation will be in terms of whether or not his injury is substantial or not. Oh, what's the temperature in Christchurch? I believe they're sitting around probably 19 degrees, somewhere around there, maybe even a little bit closer to the 20, 21 because of the sun being out, keeping the temperature nice and warm. Blackadder, they are just showing what he was able to do throughout the first half. 25 metres made 9 carries. 25 metres made 9 tackles. But honestly, that doesn't really show what he's been able to do throughout this match. He's rushed up. He's created attacking chances by getting the ball turned over for the Crusaders. Hope Henry covers. He's our best bowlers. He's Dawn of the Dead. Jordan, my captain and fantasy team. Well, he is currently doing extremely well. Crusaders looking hungry, says Gus. So what they've just said, the fact that at the moment, the way that it's sitting, the Reds, if they score early, might have a chance of getting back into this contest. And that is something that the coaches will know. They'll be trying to drum it into the players that you guys are right in this game. Melbourne today is 36 degrees, says Matthew. And we have got there, that's cold, says Matthew. It's pretty warm for New Zealand at this time of year, though. Right, they're having a chat to Israel Dag. He's going to give us some TAB numbers. I mentioned earlier on, though, that they are $13 underdogs for the Reds. Oh, okay, he's reading out numbers that aren't actually on the screen. And every game they are a thrill to watch. If there's no rain so far, the weather stays away. See Spider Megan. Yeah, there haven't been a huge amount of games that have been played in conditions like this, just because normally we don't get to see that early kickoff. And when we did in Fiji, it was absolutely bucketing down. We only got to see the sun right at the end. But yeah, it shows the massive amount of difference that it can make by playing these games at a decent hour. And Hamish, I am hot and not summer, says Brandon. Yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty nice day overall in New Zealand in terms of heat-wise. They're just showing their Black Caps versus India. That one is going to be taking place starting at 8:30, but the match itself is starting at 10 p.m. New Zealand time. And go the Crusaders, says Rakula. And there as well, Amatara. They tough down there in the south. Don't you know, 90 degrees is bloody hot, says Bob Log. Yeah, like 19 degrees is probably singlet and shorts weather for a lot of people here. Like, I've made a bad decision. I'm wearing a jersey and pants, and I'm pretty much sweating, waiting for weather to cool down. Up to Black Caps, lad, says Mark. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and you guys will get to see our final moments reaction of that match when we're doing England versus Italy. Our hottest day in Perth this week is 35. I was talking to Mum in Auckland. It's a nice 22 today. Hamish hasn't got back about that interviews yet. I have been quite busy in the last little while, if I'm being honest. I've hardly had any free time at all. Those two pommies saying and Atherton both picked Henry and Ravindra as the best bowler and batter in the tournament. I mean, Ravindra's really stepped up, definitely because, you know, in that warm-up game ending up with the concussion, that looked like maybe, you know, he was going to miss a few, and then it might be hard to get a spot back when we started seeing other guys in that lineup start to deliver. But, yeah, I think Ravindra is one of the big keys for New Zealand, but also their bowling attack. Because if they aren't able to get the ball in the right area and get wickets up against the Indians, they will just run away with the game. I mean, it's the last time the All Blacks played it in Day International in New Zealand. Was it up against Australia that they had the early start? Was it that one? I'm trying to think of whether or not one of the Bledisloe games was actually an early game on a Sunday, wasn't it? Or I could be thinking of maybe a different comp. But yeah, it's been a little while anyway. Second half, not a mile off. Do let me know who you guys think will be the first try scorer. Someone who's been a little bit more quiet than I expected them to be is actually Cody Taylor. We haven't really seen him have too many runs with the ball, definitely because last year he had so many of them, but there is still time. Aiden Park against Australia, says Matthew there. Was that last year, Matthew, that one took place? And Sada sending a message here, says Gus. They are to a certain extent, although they are also making quite a few mistakes. Like, as clinical as they have been, right, they're only up by 15 points, which at this point in time, you know, the amount of tries that we can say, like, just off the top of my head, Cullen Grace, Will Jordan's got 2, Sevu Reece has got 2. I believe they've got 3 missed kicks at the moment, and you know, that'll be a bit of a concern as they head towards the second half, because if the Reds score early, all of a sudden they're down by 8, and that's a gettable margin. So they definitely will want to be more clinical in this. Well, not so much clinical on attack, but just making right decisions on their defence. They'll feel like there are a couple little things to fine-tune, but yeah, they have a good chance of getting to 50 in this contest if they keep on going the way that they are here. Adunners, wasn't it? Says Gus. Oh, was it an afternoon game in Dunedin? You might be right there. Good morning in Cape Town, Hamish and everyone. I actually woke up 30 minutes ago, but I quickly am making me breakfast. because in a half hour from now, I must get ready for church. But all is not lost. Says Vaughan. Well, it is great to have you here for this match, ladies and gents. Of course, yourself as well, Vaughan. But yeah, it's going to be one of those ones that time zone wise, rugby can be brutal. But it is great to see that you've made the early morning start for this one. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Good morning from London. Just woke up. 29 points to 14. That's close. Says Nix. That was actually someone's full-time prediction, wasn't it? Now that I think about it. I'm just going to scroll back through a little bit and see whether or not anyone actually... Oh, no, there was 23-14 in favour of the Crusaders. We got any other predictions that were close? This one just... It sounds familiar. The scoreline. But, no, it doesn't look like we've got any other predictions there. However, there just need to Mighty to get a try, and that's 4. Pixel tries. Says Mr. Allin. Impressive. 4 in a row would be quite the handy situation. We have got there 42 points to 25. Now, sitting 29 points to 14. But there is still work to be done in this match. Looks like a great crowd at OrangeTheory Stadium, or sorry, Apollo Project Stadium. We have got there. Good night from Brazil. Says Cesaro, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Good afternoon, Hamish. Crusaders going great. Score 40 points to 28. For our All Blacks fans, this was not a good weekend for us because all our teams lost so far, but it doesn't happen, or it doesn't matter what happens this. Says Vaughan. Yeah, it's one of those ones that, if anything, seeing all 3 of the New Zealand teams losing so far has really helped show the competitiveness of the competition. And, you know, now they have to find a way of bouncing back. The Crusaders have to change their logo because of wokeness or for sympathy, says Bob Log. I'm not sure of the exact reason behind it. It was a few years ago, wasn't it? But I think it was possibly just to save any sort of issues. Jordan get 4 tries, let's go. Says Deny. Honestly, he could. We've seen 2 tries so far from the Reds, Dungunu and Wilson. Oh, Kamara choking on a bug or something at the moment. He looks awful. Looks like he might have needed someone to give him a pat on the back. Hopefully he's going to be all right for the start of this contest. And now second half back underway. Kamara kicks it deep. Just looking around to see if there's any changes that have been made. Cody Taylor still out there. Of course, do let us know when you think he will be making his way from the field, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to think of the Crusaders were to get any sort of penalty. Oh, there's one change. Corey Callow is on the park. Who is that for, I wonder? Christian Leo Willie is still out there. Oh, and great charge down from Corey Callow. Goes back onto the side of the Crusaders. I'm just looking to see whether or not it's Cullen Grace or Ethan Blackadder is the man who made his way off. Oh, great hands from Shell Thune. Couldn't get that next offload away. Right, it's Cullen Grace who's gone off for Callow. To take some pretty hard contact near the end of that first half. Kamara tackled by Tim Ryan. Oh, Preston has to get rid of it quickly as there was a lot of pressure on him. Reese has a bit of a slip. Still trying to find his way through. Oh, Blackadder joining the breakdown aggressively, and Bro Crusaders is going to win because that's their home ground. Says Sammy. Although last year they did have quite a few losses at the home stadium. Cody Taylor now. Carry from him. He's had a bit of a quiet first half, but I still think he's got a try in him. David Harvey tries to offload on the inside to Kamara. Picked up by Christian Leo Willie, and he will spin around and score. They might just check, see whether or not there was a knock on there, but the Reds all went to sleep. They assumed that it was going to be a drop ball, so they all just froze. And Leo Willie went, okay, it's play on, I'll just score. It was a good weekend for us All Blacks fans because so far all our teams lost so far. But it doesn't matter what the second half score will end up. I believe the Crusaders will walk out the victory. Is this a new Crusaders Stadium? It is not yet. No, they are still at Apollo Project Stadium, or was known as OrangeTheory. Right, we're going to see the replay here. Nah, never got a hand to it there, Kamara. Couldn't bend down enough, which means that it kept on going, and Leo Willie did score the try. This game is cooking, says Justin. Harry Wilson trying to stop him, but by then it was just a little bit too late. Kamara. Ready to line up this kick. And he does let it go out to the right. Oh, it comes round and goes over. What a kick that is. It's going to make the score now 36 points to 14. I remember an early game in Dunedin against Australia. It was a shocking game. Says Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, Leo Willie just picks it up. Finishes it off. Right. Liam Wright is also off for the Reds, I've just heard. And the France-England or Ireland game was absolutely magnificent. France taught Ireland a good lesson. Says Banana. Now, Corey Kello joins that breakdown for Kyle Preston to roll it back. Kicks it high. Down towards the halfway line. Has that gone out on the full? No, it was actually allowed because they were inside of their 22. Bryle, he is the man who's come on for Liam Wright. The Froggies will be hard to beat, says Bob Log. Ronan. Oh, beautifully taken by Corey Kello. Gets the steal. Now off to the right-hand side here. Scott Barrett going on the outside to Dallas McLeod. Finds it to Shea Fiaki. And the Reds. The thing is, we haven't seen a huge amount of advantages in this game. And we really haven't seen the Crusaders have to go to that rolling maul near the corner. Because every time that they've even had the likeliness of getting an advantage, they've been able to go through and score. Scott Barrett on a cross now. Tinako Matui. Now, Cody Taylor again, going to be tackled well by the Reds. He's got his knees down though. And Carl says, Mini Toon, welcome in. Back across to the right-hand side. They're into the middle of the park here for the Crusaders. Preston, no, Arvilli has dropped it. Dallas McLeod has to clean the ball up. And good leg strength shown by McLeod. Ball pops out the side. Penalty advantage, or sorry, just a knock-on advantage in favour of the Reds. Number 25's out there. I think that's Bryle, but they've had a bit of a problem with the shirts. I wonder if South Africa can do the same to New Zealand and Eden Park, except it won't be a big score like South Africa win by that. Says Banana Lucy all the way Crusaders. The advantage is now over. The Crusaders claiming it now. Just inside of their own half. I'm at the game. It's nice. Says Mini Tunia. Looks like a decent temperature. Great acceleration from Kamara. Gets the offload up to Christian Leo Willie. 22 metres out. Preston. Now shifting. This one was Shalfoon. Making meters for fun at the moment. Corey Kello takes that one, offloads back, but gives it straight to the Reds. Another little mistake happening there from the Crusaders, maybe getting a little bit overzealous. We'll have a quick look to see if the Reds are given any chance in this one. And they do manage to get the ball out there, the Reds. But currently, they're $21 or so underdogs in this contest, which honestly, it is fair enough. In fact, 31, I should say, for that total. Cody Taylor now. We have their Bockies might break the Golden or the Garden of Eden. Says Bob Long, nicely claimed. Carries made. We've seen 83 for the Crusaders today. Have made huge meters across the board. Crusaders are on the charge. Says Gus. But yeah, this game's been flowing really nicely. We've seen hardly any penalty advantages. Leo Willie leaves it at the back. Now Blackadder going across. Cody Taylor finds his offload to Severis, and Will Jordan now knocks it on. Double knock on, in fact. So we'll go back for the scrum. And all the way Crusaders says Tangi there. Like they've said, they've managed to survive defensively there. A really fast pace type of game here. Unless we use Voodoo on the box. And 21 points to 20 at the moment. It's the way that it sits. Now, 4 points difference was the win for the Fijian draw earlier on in the weekend. We saw the Brumbies narrowly beat the Blues, and then Moana Pacifica winning up against the Hurricanes, not just by a little bit, but by 9. Very impressive one. Live ladder at the moment, 14 points for the Chiefs. They are sitting at the top of the bunch. The Waratahs in second on 13, and the Reds are in third on 9. But this one will take a bit of a hit to their points differential, which currently would be sitting at +2 if this is the way that this one sits. 2023 versus Australia and Dunedin, the last day game, I think. Says Dawn of the Dead. And now that's going to be a free kick in favour of the Reds, going a little bit too early, is the comment. Now, McLaughlin Phillips going to kick this one downfield. Won't be able to find touch with it as it was just a free kick. And the Crusaders once again will take this one at the back. Super Reese sinks the slipper into it, looking for a 50-22. Well covered at the back for the Reds again. Now Murray back down the middle of the field. He hasn't really had a chance to run this one. Landers third on the table, says Gus. That is, the updated table. Getting into this match, the Reds were in third. Now Tim Ryan going back across to the right-hand side. And now, McDermott goes back across. Big shot from Barrett. McDermott tries to chip across field. Nice cross kick to Dalngunu. Got the ball on the inside. Murray goes with a kick in behind, waiting for the bounce of the ball. Was Kamara at the back. We have got only in their dreams. The Bockies one break. The Eden Park Hoodoo, says Matthew. Now McDermott gets the ball again. Crusaders looking for the turnover, but they haven't got it. Instead, now the Reds are going to fire just that little bit harder. Try and get themselves on the board yet again. The closer that they can get in this game, the more chance they have of shutting down that Crusaders bonus point. That is, of course, if you have 3 or more than your opposition. Cody Taylor, he was very close to getting the turnover there, and he's been dropped. Oh, he has a bit of a push at Josh Canham, and there was a knock on. In fact, forward pass for that one. Fingers crossed. I think Robertson will be even better this year. Says Bob Log. But it was a good bit of work there from the Reds to make quite a few metres in the process. And just that cross kick off his left boot, going straight to Dalngunu, who went on the inside to Murray, who then got the kick perfectly timed on McWright to run in, but maybe just the pass would have been the better option there. And then McWright, of course, popping up with the turnover, because that is what McWright does when he joins a breakdown. The Crusaders now are going to have themselves the scrum, though, on their own 22. Oh, a lot of changes about to be made. We have how many cents did you bet on Emma's favourite rugby team? No cents bet for them, of course. But, yeah, they're going very well here. She will be smiling from ear to ear, I would think, with the way that they've been playing. And here comes another run forward from Kamara. Will Jordan's got 2 tries, so he's close to a hat-trick. Every Crusaders fan who's female and around the age of kind of 25 to 30, in fact 20 to 30, seem to have Will Jordan as their favourite player. Going to the right-hand side. Ethan Blackadder. Now rolling this one back. Going to be Kyle Preston. Still 29 minutes left, and the Crusaders leading by 22 points. Now slapped back by Reese. Crusaders on attack yet again. On across to Will Jordan. Got the ball in hand and plenty of space. Goes for the chipper behind. If he gets the bounce of the ball, he doesn't, and it sits up for Tim Ryan, the Bulldog. Out on the wing for the Reds, and he is through a gap. Chance here for him. David Harvey just manages to hang on to him. That was a bit rough. That was playing the ball on the ground from the Reds, so the penalty does go the way of the Crusaders. Unfortunately, Tim Ryan, it just ended up sitting right into his chest when he was on the floor. Did they just say that that's the first penalty against the Reds in 50? No, it's not. Sorry. First penalty against the Reds in 40 minutes, and the first penalty that we've had in the last about 25. What does this put Crusaders on the table? says Paul. So if they win this game with a bonus point, they will move up from where they are currently. They'd move up to 9 points. Their points differential would be better than the Force. It would also be better than the Brumbies with how it is currently sitting. So I believe that they would push themselves up. They won't quite be ahead of the Highlanders. But if they were to win this game by, I believe they have to win it by 27 points, then they would go ahead of the Highlanders as well and move right up into third. Here comes Harry Wilson. Right, Cody Taylor is off, and that is for Moananu. Now the Crusaders, chance here. Continue rolling forward. They gave Taylor 52 minutes. Bit of a quiet game for him, to be honest. Not a lot of line-outs to have to do because of the lack of penalties that we've seen throughout this game. Bro, Chiefs got beat so bad. Says Xavier. And British Lions should have a match also with New Zealand Drua Moana Pacifica while on the tour of Australia. Says Nix. Now going back across to the left-hand side. Chipped him on from Lockie Anderson. So this ball going to stay in the field of play or just having a run it into touch with Will Jordan. Was not taking any risks for that one. Do you follow UFC? You can do UFC commentator. I do follow the UFC. There are a lot of overlaps in terms of when the UFC's on and when I try and sleep though. So that's my one big issue is normally we do an all-nighter Saturday night, Sunday morning right through. And then when the UFC's on, it's at the time where I finally get to sleep. But yeah, I normally have to catch the replay of the UFC. All right, Levi Amor is now onto the field, and that is going to be for, is that for Will Jordan? I think it is. Now, looking for the rolling maul. Chance here for Matty Feslow on the short side. Now, trying to step through was Tate McDermott. Not a lot of space to work with, though, but they're only a couple metres out from the line here, the Reds. And a really good shot of getting over. Quick hands, and that's the try. No, sorry. A little bit premature. Now, Harry Wilson, he's going to crawl a little bit closer to the try line. I thought for sure the big man would have flattened over the line there, but the Reds now firing it back across. Chance out wide. Surely they score this. Lockie Anderson gets it for the Reds. And once again, they're kind of back in this game. Not a huge amount, but just enough to make it that little bit interesting. For the final 25, Chiefs only lost by 4, says Bob Locke. Oh, Matty Feslow, he got kind of bent backwards. But, yeah, passed out wide. And then Lockie Anderson just had to run it in. Didn't have too many concerns overall with the finish. But happy with that, the Reds. This is an important kick, although they are still down by 17 either way. So it honestly doesn't change much other than the pressure of the other kicks later on. Mick Lachlan Phillips, I should say. He's sitting 2 from 2. Now he's not. He's sitting 2 from 3, as he has missed that one after I've just told him he needs to get it. But the bonus point's still in the favour of the Crusaders. But if they do concede one more try, then that will be it taken away just for now. And Crusaders' turn for a try now, says Matthew. And they'll be looking for another one in the near future. Josh Nasser on, by the sounds of it. So all new front row. Crusaders could potentially beat the Blues at Eden after they get pummeled by the Chiefs next week. Stranger things have happened, says Dyler. And the thing about it, right, is Super Rugby this year in particular has been so unpredictable that as soon as you think you know what's going to happen with the team, they just don't do what you think. The likes of, for instance, Moana Pacifica versus Hurricanes. Yes, people felt like Moana was going to be a little bit competitive, but they didn't expect them to score 40-plus points against a Hurricane side that people considered top contenders because they were top of the table last year. It's just so unpredictable, and that's what makes it fun. That's a penalty now to the Reds. They're starting to get a bit of the old momentum going here, the old Reds. Tackler not releasing, going against Christian Leo Willie for that one. Now getting ready to kick this one into touch for McLaughlin Phillips. And we got there, great commentary, says John. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciate it. And the Reds comeback, says Stuart. Yes, I wonder if they play the draw in Moana. Maybe 2 more games or too many games for the Lions, says Bob Log. And Lions should have had a game against the Fijian draw for the series, says Banana. Yeah, it would have been quite cool to see. Just because, I mean, we did see Ireland versus Fiji take place November, wasn't it? That one happened. There's going to be pass across. Oh, beautiful hands from Harry Wilson. Unfortunately, Dalgunu also got sold by the no-look pass because he was not ready for it. Kicked him behind, looking for the 50, 22, it's out on the full. They'll go right back to where that one was kicked from for Kamara. He was just asking a question whether or not advantage was still in play. Bit of wishful thinking from the Crusaders 10. Now, another line out here for the Reds. If they score now, right, who knows what's going to happen for the last 20. We have seen stranger things happen in this round of Super Rugby. We've seen 3 underdogs win games, and we've also seen 3 New Zealand sides already lost for this round of rugby. The Crusaders would be the first winners if they are able to get the job done, beat a few upsets this round. Absolutely. So don't put it past the Reds to try and cause a few problems here for the Crusaders later on, although they've had a problem at their line out. And ball now back for the Crusaders. Now Levi Moore, his first carries of the contest. Now short side Preston goes off to Corey Kello to replace Cullen Grace around the halftime break. Banana Lucia said, I hope they'll make it happen. Says Nix. And that one's gone into touch. That'll be the line out here for the Reds. It seems to be territory-wise, the Reds are starting to take it a little bit. The Reds seem to have the momentum. And yeah, the crowd have gone a little bit quieter than they were in the first half. The Crusaders, they've scored 1 try in the second half of Christian Leo Willie, with the exception of that, though. I think that's their only try. Yeah, they were on 29 at halftime, weren't they? 29-14 to be exact. So both sides have scored once in the second half. Dongunu tries to run over the top of David Havili. Harry Wilson, that was a rough pass. Somehow McLaughlin Phillips manages to clean it up, though, and stop it from being a knock-on. Back to the right. Big shot on Blake. Now Josh Nasser. And Reds momentum will say it's taking foot off the pedal. Either way, the Reds look at the moment the slightly stronger team. Scoreboard would say otherwise. Yeah, Crusaders have to be very careful. That was almost a croc roll. Now Wilson looks for the offload. That one's just popped up into the hands of McLaughlin Phillips, who sits down Corey Kello. Our Lions should put the landers on that schedule. So here's Gus. That's a tip tackle. Oh, that's not nice, is the comment there from Justin Marshall. Double blow of the whistle here. It's a dangerous tackle from Reese. He's kind of pleading with Ben O'Keefe, saying, look, mate, I didn't mean it. Okay, they're going upstairs to check this one. Okay, Sever Reese is trying to go over. That's not going to change the fact that they're looking at this one on the TMO. Like, he can try and plead his case all he wants, but they're still checking it. Who that is Richie Moonga. Ever going to play for the All Blacks again? Maybe in like 2027. So Blake, he does pick him up, but there is a guy who was on the ground, which kind of, with where Blackadder is, it does mean that he does get slightly flipped up. But yeah, I don't see this as more than a penalty, to be honest, because yeah, he's ended up he's flipped him over the player who's on the ground. Now, player safety wise, it's probably still going to be a yellow, because they'll say, well, your guy was on the ground, so you had to try and find a way of putting him down nicely. But just a penalty is the call from Ben O'Keefe. One of the best in the game when it comes to the kind of discipline side of things, or the foul play side of things too. It means that the Reds have got themselves another penalty. But now, kicking towards the touchline, the ex-All Black out there for the Reds. Says Gus. I assume you're talking Jeffrey Tormungalan, are you? And how good Josh Canham. Josh Canham. He's been so bloody good, Melbourne representative. Yeah, he's been fantastic in this game. That big run where he went straight through and bumped off Kamara as well was extremely impressive. And he's done enough to stay out there on the field for longer as they've taken Ryan Smith off for Angus Blythe. Now the Reds looking for a rolling maul. They can take away the Crusaders bonus point if they are to score the next try of this contest, but can also get close towards the extra point for being within 7. Now the Reds with Harry Wilson, big shot on him. Now an advantage for offside against the Crusaders. This is when their discipline may start to fall apart a little bit. And now another penalty. It's even trying to protect his innocence, says Matthew. And yeah, to Sevu Reese's credit, he did have a bit of an argument in that case, which was the fact that Blackadder was on the ground and he went for a bit of a driving tackle and he just kind of seesawed the guy over him. Right, must tap. Comment from Ben O'Keefe. So McDermott does follow the rules. Going off to the right-hand side to Blake. Now back to the right. Chance here for the Reds. Only 10 metres out from the line. That would have been Pakeho. Now McDermott trying to cycle quickly. Goes off to Harry Wilson. He already has himself 1 try in this contest. McDermott going to the right. Step again from McLaughlin Phillips, who preferred fly half for the ABs. I mean, I think at the moment it is still between Bowden and Damien because of, I mean, Plummer's gone overseas. He's going to be heading to France after the Super Rugby season. That's a great steal from Corey Kello. He did that extremely smoothly. I think there were still a few Reds players trying to join the breakdown that he had taken the ball from. Now, Corey Kello. Got the ball back in the hands of the Crusaders, which means that Preston can kick this one into touch. Who is starting to have a little bit of a limp there. I think he really hurt his leg from booting that one, or maybe just a bit of cramp now kicking in. And now there is another change that has been made, ladies and gents. Against his old side, James O'Connor has made his way on. Yeah, Corey Kello was lightning quick with getting that steal. McDermott, he is also off, and that is for Kalani Thomas. Now line out here. And nicely taken at the front from Cannon Kalani Thomas. First touch of the day for him. He goes to the right-hand side. Oh, Moananu manages to get the steal for the Crusaders. Still going, the big man. Getting pushed forward, still going, and finds the offload to Dallas McLeod, who tries to chip him by and just slightly checked on his way through. The Reds have to scramble back only about 5 metres out from the line now, my token Aussie. We'll get things going for the Crusaders and Barrett and D-Mac. That's all I'm hoping for, the AB's fly halves. I don't know if it's me, but I feel like Tate McDermott being quite average. He hasn't been his best. Like, I still feel like, I think it was McDermott of about 1 or 2 years ago that was just everywhere. But, yeah, he hasn't quite found his stride. But then saying that, like, this is their first loss of the season. Like, he did all right in those other 2 games. But, yeah, I feel like he certainly hasn't had his best performance in this game. He hasn't been able to get that little pick and go around the side of the breakdown going like he normally would. Barrett and D-Mac, that's who I'm hoping for, as the AB's fly half, says Matthew. But now, Preston will make his way from the field. Once again, another shift put in by that man, and Mitchell Drummond will make his way on. So you go from hardly any experience to all the experience in the world. South Africa and New Zealand are going to Cook Island in the internationals this year, says Banana Lucy. Now Moananu throws it in. An inside ball to Sevu Reece. Looked pretty flat, to be honest, but it is going to be close enough. The big fella having a run, says Gus, and yeah, just kept on pumping his legs. Trying to keep moving forward. Shalfoon. Red's almost joining that breakdown illegally. Now around the side, Blackadder. Oh, that's an illegal clean out from Sevu Reece. I think they're trying to say that he did step back. Why is Reece still holding him? I'm very confused by that. Reece went in, tried to take a big man's kneecap away. Big man said, don't do that. Reece said, I want to grab your shirt now. Can I please take it home? and then still hung on to him for another 5 seconds or so, saying, this is nice material. What is this made of? Levi Moore now tackled on the 22. Now Drummond. I'm back to the left. Moananu. Tackled by Blake, who looks like he kind of went like that. So I think he might have got a bit of a stray finger to the eyeball. Barrett on the field. He is still out there, yes. All big clean out. Coming from Shalfoon. Blackadder. Yeah, he's been pretty solid, Preston. Definitely because at the start of the season, he probably thought he was getting 10, 15 minutes at the end of each game with Noah Hotham being there. Now he's become pretty much a starter for them. So it'll be interesting to see how he continues to grow as a player. Mitch Drummond passing on the outside. Chaifiaki. Oh, he needed the draw and pass, but he does instead take the contact, and the Reds, they do manage to clean this one up about 10 metres out from their own line. Now back across to Harry Wilson. Looks like Lockie Anderson and Tim Ryan, both wingers actually a little bit slower getting back up to their feet. And that one will go into touch from McLaughlin Phillips. Right, looks like there's a bit of wrestling going on at the moment. Fletcher Null and Angus Blythe, I think it was, having a bit of a scrap by the looks of it. Just having a bit of a chat too. It's really stupid that we're getting the Nations Cup next year. Disgraceful World Rugby to do that. We could have got a France-South Africa series in South Africa next year, says Banana. No way. Or no Rugby Championship next year, by the way, says Banana Lucy. Oh, now that's too high from Murray. They're just talking about the fact that it was a yellow card last night. There was one, yeah, like they've just said, Cam Miller last week ended up knocking himself out, but he didn't get a yellow for it. So is this one going to be checked? Doesn't look like it. Sever Reese needs a new shirt. That's because he was trying to steal the one off Blake. Ripped all the way up the side by the sounds of it. Yeah, he just wanted to know what the Reds made their kit of, since it is holding strong. Nicely taken by Anthony Shalfoon. Offloads up to Corey Callow. Wanted to flick out the back, and he has knocked that ball on, I believe. Maybe just managing to regather in the process is going to be a new penalty advantage for the Crusaders. And Cook Islands would have beaten South African Island anyway. So here's Bob Log. No knock on, he regathers. Said Ben O'Keefe. Now James O'Connor, he will kick this one into touch. Which now gives Moananu chance to get a roll and more going. Next year, they're going to be doing New Zealand touring South Africa something. They're bringing back from the old days. It's going to be every 4 years, I think. Should be every 6 years, though, says Banana. Now going to be thrown in by Moananu. And now, 5 metres out from the try line. Ben O'Keefe, I couldn't find a different shirt, says Bill. I mean, Ben O'Keefe has got... Oh, you're saying because he kind of overlaps with the Reds? It's not too similar. Oh, and that's going to be well defended, but knocked on by Fraser McWright. And go the Crusaders go, says Rakula. And no Rugby Championship in 2026, 2028, and 2030. Says Dawn of the Dead. So yeah, a lot of other rugby will be taking place, and we are going to be covering hopefully all of it that we can on the channel. We're seeing 12 handling errors from the Reds today, compared to the 8 of the Crusaders. 6 penalties against Crusaders, 3 against the Reds. So the discipline throughout this match has actually been really strong from both sides. It's been a free-flowing type of game. Hasn't really taken a huge amount of time to get through either. Been well controlled. Both teams making over the 140 tackles, 156 for the Crusaders, 144 for the Reds. Both tackling at a relatively high percentage too. Now scrum feed for the Crusaders. They are going to be only about 5 metres out from the line. And this is where in the first half they tried to get that rolling ball straight over. I know it's done. World Rugby is so trash. The Nations Cup unpredicting is going to be a disaster. And they'll end up ditching it, says Banana Lucy. Big scrum from the Reds, defending nicely, but it is still on the side of the Crusaders. Very close to the line. Dallas McLeod. Now Drummond goes with a pop pass up to Scott Barrett. There's a penalty advantage for offside in the Crusaders' favour. And O'Connor for B's reserves. And that's going to be another penalty going the way of the Crusaders. Right, scrum penalty or the offside penalty. So a pick of two for this Crusaders side. James O'Connor, I don't know how much he'll want to have the ball in hand. I feel like he'll get a big shot coming in from this Reds side, seeing as he used to be on their team. All right, and Christian Leo Willie, he is going to make his way off the field by the sounds of it. Who is that going to be? That's actually going to be for Taylor Cahill. So I think we'll have a bit of a reshuffle, perhaps. Now, why the hell would you get rid of the June tests and the November internationals for that garbage? Says Banana. The people who run World Rugby are dinosaurs and they need a wake-up call, and hopefully when the Nations Cup fails, it will wake them up. Says Banana Lucy. Now, 11 minutes remaining in this contest. They have got Severies situated way out wide, right on the touchline, and there could be a cross kick coming from JOC. Hopefully they keep the June test and they keep the November internationals to next year. Don't get rid of it, dumb. To get rid of that, says Banana Lucy. Now Havili runs it straight. Back across. Dallas McLeod thought about passing wider, but will get hit well by the Reds too. Now Drummond goes across to George Bauer. Pops it up. James O'Connor. He doesn't do the cross kick, but he does a big wide cutout pass. Reese takes it. Inside ball to James O'Connor. Oh, he's been suplexed. But still on the side of the Crusaders. Severies goes back across to Corey Callow. Oh, this looks like there might be an injury here for one of the... Oh, Havili's dropped the ball as he went to score the try. And that is a massive mistake. Right, it's a penalty against the Crusaders. Surely O'Connor has Kiwi ancestors. Says Bob Long and World Rugby and IRB are useless. Says Dawn of the Dead. And also O'Connor. Going to put a hot on Wilson, and O'Connor parents are Kiwis. Says Matthew there. And there you go, says Bob Long. But yeah, the chance for Havili to score it, all he had to do was get that ball down, but just fumbling it as he was going over the try line. Lachlan Phillips, yeah, just knocks the ball out of the hands of Havili. Be disappointed about it for sure. Line out here for the Reds now, sitting about 25 metres out from their own line. This game's reached a little bit of a stalemate. Crusaders have still got the bonus point for being 3 or more tries ahead, but if the Reds score next, oh, beautiful offload from Kalani Thomas to Harry Wilson. The draw and all, that looked a bit high from Che Fiaki. Offloaded back, Reese trying to rush in. Ngunu is there ready for it. I believe it is going to be now down on the ground. Yes, it is. Picked up by Shelfu. No ball protection in the breakdown from the Reds. Havili. Oh no, in fact, this time it was McLeod went for the kick and it was charged down. That's now both centres who have tried it and got it wrong. Awesome Crusader, says Alice. Now, Mitch Drummond goes across to Martinga. This looks like Drummond will be setting up for a box kick. Only 9 minutes left on the clock now. No, in fact, he's going to go across to James O'Connor. Might have got the call out wide. Levi Moore, great fin there. But Wilson gets him down. Dongunu, hard to shift. And he's got the clean turnover. Rough pass. That's a hit off the ball from Severies. They'll go back for the knock on anyway. O'Connor definitely on Razor's radar. Says Gus. Yeah, currently sitting with 8 minutes remaining. If the Crusaders concede now, the Reds will take away the Crusaders bonus point, which is actually, it's going to be a substantial one. And with the way that this match has gone, the Crusaders would be very disappointed. They weren't able to get the full 5 from this contest. I never know with injuries, says Bob Log. And there as well. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, of the guys who are in form now, the sad reality of Super Rugby is at least 5 of them are probably going to be injured by the end of the season. It's not too often you get a game without 1 or 2 guys going down per team. Now scrum feed for the Reds again. Would O'Connor even be eligible? When did he last play for Australia? I think it's been a couple, probably a year and a half or so for James O'Connor. James O'Connor, last Australian test. We'll see what comes up. Last test match for James O'Connor Test debut. Last test was Scotland versus Australia on the 7th of November 2021. So actually a lot longer. Although it says that he's got test matches between 2008 and 2022. So I would assume maybe in 2022 is when we've seen him last. He's eligible, says Matthew. And come on, the Crusaders, says Stewart, nicely claimed. Now, just marching. That's going sideways. They'll have to get rid of that very soon. Kalani Thomas gives it off into the midfield to Pakio. Now Thomas offloads up to Wilson. He will always run full steam ahead at the opposition. No, says Bob Locke. Now back across to the right here. Keeping the head nice and low. Thomas pops it up to Blake. Reds in a really good position here to go on to score the try. If they can get a penalty advantage in their favour, it would be even better. Now Thomas goes back to McLaughlin Phillips. Good tackle made on Tim Ryan. Shut down. Counter ruck from the Crusaders. Very well protected though. I believe it was the 23 Goldsborough who got in there. Stuff Dubai. Oh, nice offload. And I kind of connecting to his Kiwi roots, says Bob Locke. Oh no, it's an offload straight into the nose of Lockie Anderson. Smacked him in the face clean as a whistle. And now it's going to be a foot race down towards the halfway line. Currently being won by the Reds. That was tackling a man on the ground, I think, for Reese. But he is a little bit lucky there. Must have been a load of injuries. O'Connor must be in the frame surely, says Gus. Now, to the right-hand side, Kalani Thomas. Still 5 minutes left. The bonus point is still intact, but for how long for the Crusaders? I think they're going to need another try because the Reds seem like they still have one in them, even though they have struggled to find that next big line break. Corey Callow tried to steal it. Blake back into the pocket, and now they will just kick it high for McLaughlin Phillips, close to the sideline, taken by Havili. He'll go for a kick of his own off the left boot, curling towards the sideline, tempting the 50-22, well claimed by Tim Ryan. Oh, that's a tactic. He has just kicked it straight into the face of David Havili, and it bounces into touch. Havili's going, ow, my face hurts. And the worst thing is, it's not even his line out. But that is a tactic and a half from Tim Ryan, something that we haven't seen before. The old kick it into the face of the opposition to get the line out. And I mean, earlier on, about 2 minutes ago, we saw Lockie Anderson get the ball to the face. So, see, that didn't look like it got him that good, Havili, but that must have just glanced the side of the eye, I would say, by the way that he is kind of winking at the medic. Hit him right on the eardrum too, probably, so his face will be ringing big time. Oh, yeah, no, he's got a bit of a red mark. It must have glanced him enough. I don't get in the way of the junkyard dog. Yeah, he's got a boot on him. Havili's probably, I would say he's got to go off for an HIA here, doesn't he? If he's sitting there kind of blinking away and looking a little bit rough. Of course, you normally see head contact leads to HIA when it's a tackle, but what about when you take a ball to the mush? I assume that also has to slightly fall into it. And who won the Force vs Waratahs match? So the Waratahs won it about 24-6, I think it was. Yeah, Havili's going off for an HIA. Or at least going off anyway for the rest of this match. He looks like he's struggling to open that right eye. So Will Jordan makes his way back on. Thrown in by the Reds, though. It is their line out, like I mentioned, because it hit the Crusaders last. Oh, bit of a mistake there from the youngster Tom Liner. And it's going to be the penalty going the way of the Crusaders. In fact, it's Wershon, sorry. He's not Tom Liner. This weekend, says Vaughan, James O'Connor is now the Hal Maneth player that is playing against his old team. I know Artie yesterday for one against the Hurricanes. Yeah, he was one of the main ones for Artie. So James O'Connor probably second or third for the weekend. This is a wrap off to Sumo. Thanks, Kiwi. Cheers, Justin. Yeah, 4 minutes remaining. Crusaders now another chance to score a try late in the contest. Would help their points differential as well as securing that bonus point. Moananu. Let's get it into Corey Callow. Little short pass off to Cahill. It's going backwards at the moment. Martinga has it in hand. Oh, there's going to be a drop ball from Drummond. It went backwards. Now James O'Connor, two-man tackle on him. Dongunu. And also Apakiho, so the two midfielders. Another tackle on Sam Martinga. The left, Cahill. Just only a few metres out from the line now for the Crusaders. They want to finish on a high. Question is, will there be a hat-trick? Reese is on 2. Will Jordan's on 2. And Amua is about 4 metres out. Good steal from Lockie Anderson. And that will be another penalty going the way of the Reds. O'Connor calling it, says Gus. Oh, so you're saying up against his old side, he's going to score the last-minute try. I know that one side out of the two wouldn't be very happy about it. And thanks so much for the great commentary yet again, says Bob Log. No worries at all. The next live stream that we have got is in around about 10.5 hours' time, and that will be the match between England and Italy. So if you guys are new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to check that one out too. Alongside that, we're also going to be covering a bit of the ICC Champions Trophy, just giving updates throughout that 2-hour period of streaming. Now the Crusaders throwing that ball in. Or I should say the Reds, in fact. And that's going to be another loose ball picked up by Levi Amor. And he will score the try. Just a crucial handling error from the Reds. It does give the Crusaders the last-minute try. And that will well and truly now secure that bonus point, which did look a little bit shaky at times. But still, at the end of this game, it's going to look like a relatively comfortable win for the Crusaders. 41 points to 19 with a nice easy kick to come to make it 43. And then just a minute remaining on the clock or when the kickoff happens. Levi Moore just really nicely done. It's not the first time the Crusaders have gotten an intercept. It's given them a lot of meters throughout this game. James O'Connor just lining up this kick, just getting the exact time that is remaining. Ben O'Keefe, just let him know you've got too much time left to be able to stall out the rest of the game. And this will be James O'Connor's first points against the Reds. And it does go over. That's also the first try that we've seen in this match since about the 50th minute or so. Did O'Connor call it? Says Gus. He got the kick over. But yeah, well, it was the Reds who ended up. Oh, you're saying he shouted and they made them make a mistake, perhaps. 30 seconds remaining now. Ball sits up inside of the 22 for Shafiaki. Goes off to Corey Callow. And here the Crusaders says Rakula. And so much for that Reds momentum, says Dawn of the Dead. Well, to be fair, they did have it for quite some time. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to make the most of it. Couple crucial errors, costing them about 30 or 40 metres both times. As Reds O'Connor's old team, it is indeed, yes. And now 8 seconds remaining. The Crusaders, I believe they will just look to close out this game with a phase or two and then boot this ball into touch. There is the full-time siren. Ball's there. Drummond kicks it out, and the Crusaders win this game 43 points to 19. Now, I should also mention this game is finished by 5:20 New Zealand time. So this game only took 1 hour and 45 to complete, which is one of the quickest games we have seen in recent times. So nicely done by everyone involved. Crusaders getting themselves the bonus points, so they will now move up on the table. This is a big new shift happening with the Super Rugby competitions this year. It will be interesting. Exactly right. It's going to be one of the most closely contested Super Rugbys, I would say, we've seen in quite some time, which is absolutely awesome news. And Crusaders played awesome. That was a quick game. It certainly was. Yeah, it's not very often you get it under 1 hour 45, let alone 1 hour 50. But the next game, like I said, it is going to be taking place between Italy and England. That is at 4 a.m. New Zealand time, or 5 p.m. for you guys who are in South Africa or most regions of the north. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Man of the match is Will Jordan for the way that he was able to play. And yeah, nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.